Hey guys, I'm Ray, and we are streaming blacksmithing. Give me half a second. I totally forgot to hit record on my stupid little camera. There we go. There we go. There we go. Okay. So today we are, well, it's Friday. Man, I'm so glad it's Friday. It's We've been doing so much stuff to kind of get ready for the holiday, and we're leaving next week. And, I'm sure everybody's, just chomping at the bit to get home today because, it's the Friday before the holiday week. And a lot of people have the holiday week off, and some people even have like, a couple weeks off. So that's really exciting. And you know what? I'm super excited that it is Friday today. So, we're gonna spend a little bit of time finishing, hopefully, fingers crossed, we are finishing these lovely tongs. Um, so we have one side, we've got the tong section of that finished. And we got a little bit of drawing out to do over here just to make it a little bit longer and a little bit more even. We've got a weird like lump here. I want to smooth that out. And then we get to do it again, all over again, here over with our other half. And then we're going to rivet them together and they'll be functional tongs. Morning, good morning, Lexi. Grumble, grumble. I don't know. I don't know what you're doing up so early, but, welcome to the stream. Welcome, welcome. I already have uh, a rivet cut, and it is like, hopefully, long enough to go through both of these, like the bosses, and then have 30% hanging out on both sides. Fingers crossed I've done that right. Fingers crossed. Otherwise, I'll probably thin out the boss a little bit more. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. It's like triple the width of one side, so. And then we're gonna drill the holes because I'm not gonna drip today. I'm not in the mood to do it. It's cold and I don't want to mess with it. So we've got the closest bit to my rivet. So we're just gonna drill them and rivet them. Alrighty. First things first, let's turn on the forge. Now, this is a used tank. It's like the last dregs of one of the tanks, so it will probably freeze up at some point, and I'll probably have to change it, but that's all right. There we go. Maybe if we cracked it a little bit faster, it'd light a little faster. All right, so we are going to turn on the forge. Make sure we've got a good amount coming out. And start heating up some metal. Heck yeah. Let's do this. All right. We've got like I said, we've got a little bit of finessing to do on our first side. Once we've got that done, we will start messing with the other side. I want one side to be done so that I can compare the other side before we start making the bit, the boss, and drawing out the rest of the tong handle. So yeah, that would be the goal today. So on Wednesday, it was like almost 50 degrees out here. It was super, super nice. And we are back down to 33 degrees. Those are Fahrenheit. So yeah, I'm kind of cold. And I'm not going to turn the heater on. And we only have the little forge going. So hopefully it gets a little bit warmer in here while I'm hand forging things. It's a little chilly, but not too bad. I just want to kind of, I don't want to flip the breaker again. I think that's my main concern. So we'll see. Like I said, we'll probably be doing a little bit of drawing out, so I might use the press, and so that's why I don't have the heater on. Let's see. We are in the middle of an ad, so once the ad is done, I will go over a little bit of housekeeping. I've got a couple things that I want to, say. The first is like, I want to tell you guys what I'm doing on Monday, and then I want to remind you guys of the rest of the schedule for next week. So, yes. Hey, John, work harder and you will stay warm. I know. Yes. And I'm hoping that by hand forging, I will start warming up, that extra effort and strength needed to, hand forge. It's going to keep me warm. That's the goal is, stay warm by moving around. All right. So I think people are back. I think from the ad break. So I have decided that on Monday, it's just going to be a production day. I don't do a lot of production days here on the stream because I don't really do a lot of production projects, but there are a few more jingle bells that I will need to do or to finish by Monday. So it's going to be finishing up the last few bells and just using the Scotch-Brite. So I will probably set something up where the bench grinder and the Scotch-Brite are over here on the set. That way I can, get those done and make sure that everybody's got their presents for this year. I have 6 more to do right now, and I'm planning on doing some this weekend. So whatever I don't get done over the weekend, we are going to finish that on Monday. On Wednesday, I will actually still be on a trip. So Wednesday and also Friday, we are going to be canceling stream. So I'm just going to take a couple days to, visit people and do holiday stuff. And I will be back on the week of New Year's. So I will be back that Monday, then I will be there on New Year's Eve that Wednesday, and then we'll be back Friday. So, regularly scheduled, everything's good. But yeah, so I'm all excited. Yesterday, I made 10 shorts. Normally, I only make 5 shorts a week, but this week I made 10 shorts. That way I don't have to do any short editing next week while I'm on my trip visiting family. So I'm super excited about that. All next week, you guys are going to be getting Christmas-themed stuff with the jingle bells. I made a bunch of shorts, and I also made, the long form project overview of the jingle bells that we made on stream. So I'm super excited for you guys to see that. And then the week after that is our very last quad state video. And I think that it is very appropriate that we wrap up our quad state series as we wrap up the rest of the year. So I thought that was very convenient, and it worked out. So that will be coming out on New Year's Eve. So look for that. I need to put my apron on, apparently. I did not even realize I didn't have my apron on today. Jeez. Goodness gracious me. I won't even say I have an excuse for that. I just forgot to put my apron on, which is kind of, a little scary because, I was using the grinder and the chop saw just before I started stream, and I didn't have my apron on. So good thing I've got some nice high cotton clothing on right now. Alrighty. How we doing on our steel? We're getting pretty warm. I think we are going to start shortly, actually forging. I think that was all the stuff that I wanted to go over as far as housekeeping is concerned. But yeah, it is the last day of the week. It is Friday. I'm so looking forward to this weekend, even though it's not really, you know, a restful weekend for me. Like I said, I got a lot of production to do. So hopefully, you know, it's relaxing and I can just enjoy doing the forging and get it, or as much of it done as possible. So, you know, we get to talk a little bit and, you know, finish that up on Monday. All right, let's do our first heat. I'm going to take a drink and hit record. We're starting over here today. And so we're going to hit that button. And then I think we're going to put the inset over there. That way you guys should be able to see everything that's going on nice and easily. Alrighty. I think I'm going to do one more heat so we can clean that up just a little bit. We're almost there. Hopefully we can get this all done and, you know, ready to go. It's always a pain in the butt for me to do rivets, and I think that's probably what's going to take most of our stream today, is getting the tongs ready for rivets and then actually riveting them together. The finessing will probably be a thing, but I'm anticipating that that's not going to be that bad. Like I said, primarily I'm a little bit concerned about the rivet. But that's all right. Like I said, I'm not really forging out a rivet. I just have a piece of round stock that I cut a piece off of. So if I screw up the first rivet, we can just drill it out and cut a new one. So that is the plan anyway. So, do you guys have any interesting plans over the weekend? Getting ready for Christmas? Anybody doing any shopping or forging? Like I said, I will be forging a whole bunch of jingle bells, doing a bunch of production. I've got about half of them cut out and got to cut out a couple more, and then we'll be able to forge them out. I suppose I also have to like file the edges because I haven't done any of the filing. The inside of the blanks for the bells, that inner like round area, it's always a pain in the butt to cut out and not leave like little steel tags and little overcuts. So got to file those nice and smooth so that when they're forged out, they don't slice open, you know, people's hands. Hey Ping, welcome to the stream. Hello. Hello, hello. So, yeah, that's my plan for this weekend. I'm hoping that I get a little bit of time to relax as well. Because I need I need some time to relax. I am really looking forward to the 2 days that I'm taking off over the holiday. Hopefully, you know, on Friday, I should be back home. And so I will be definitely taking that day to kind of just relax and recover and, you know, get ready for another week of streaming and forging and editing. So, super excited about that. Or maybe not, because I mean, even after we get back from our trip, we do have one more holiday thing that we need to do. My sister-in-law and her family are coming over, and we're going to watch holiday films. So I don't know what holiday films entails. Is it going to be like Die Hard and, Lord of the Rings? Or is it going to be like, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and a whole bunch of claymation stuff? I don't know. We shall see. What constitutes a holiday movie? How about you guys? What do you guys consider a holiday movie? I feel like Lord of the Rings for me, is totally a holiday movie. And not because, it depicts the holidays or anything like that. Mostly because when I was growing up, the Peter Jackson trilogy was coming out, and they all came out over the holiday break. So every year that they came, or that one of them came out, we went and saw it in theaters on Christmas Day. That it became a tradition for several years. We just went to the movies because there wasn't a lot to do on Christmas. You do your opening the presents and whatnot. And, some of you are in a food coma, and others they always looking for something to do. So, like I said, for a while, we were watching movies at the theater. We got the shop set up yesterday after your stream. Today we're going to spend the morning forging during the Great Blacksmith Christmas giveaway stream that starts in about 3 hours. Ooh, that's exciting. No electric? That's not good. So are you guys going to be streaming, or are you guys going to be smithing? Because I think, isn't it Roy's stream? It's like Roy's Blacksmith Christmas giveaway, or am I mistaken and it's you guys that are going to be streaming? I'll have to figure that out, though, because, I need to watch too. Yes, Roy's stream. Okay, cool. Yeah. I will have to check that out, and, 2.5 hours, that's how long I go. And if theirs starts 3 hours, then, we should shuffle our way over to Roy's stream after my stream is over. Evening Sandwich, welcome to the stream. Welcome in. Welcome, welcome. All right, let's do another heat. And like I said, I'm trying really hard. We're not streaming, no electric. I mean, I don't have electric when I'm streaming on site at the blacksmith shows, but I use, my cell phone battery. All right, now we're going to take a little bit of time to kind of do a little bit more precision smithing and make things nice and straight and as flat as we can manage them, using the coolness to kind of, or as a resist a little bit. Except we're bouncing around, and that's never good, so I don't know. We'll figure it out. All right, so that's all she wrote for that one for the moment. Now we're going to heat up the other side, and we're going to try and duplicate this guy. We will have a little bit of finessing to do, like this guy is sticking up a little bit. We'll fix that in a bit. But first, I want to get these guys matching. Every tong needs a dance partner. Wow. That's a good joke, Sandwich. That's an acceptable joke. What's the difference between a ghetto and Ray's Smithy? Instead of burning trash cans, you see burning mailboxes. I suppose that's acceptable. But, you know, it's not just ghettos that have burning trash cans, you know, somewhat. Yes, but we don't have Wi-Fi down at the shop, and there's only one bar of cell service. Not enough to stream, barely enough to watch. Ooh, yeah, that could be a problem. We're getting to the point here in the Midwest where I can pretty much stream anywhere for the longest time. I don't know, I'd say about 7 or 8 years back, the cell phone service just wasn't as good as it is now. And so I'd go to like UMBA meetings, like Upper Midwest Blacksmith Association meetings, and I could barely use the GPS to get there, let alone use the phone or stream at them. These days, though, I can go pretty much anywhere, even if it's rural, and get some cell phone service. So that's always good. Super excited about that. You know, technology spreading. One of these days, I myself want to buy a piece of land out in the middle of nowhere and, you know, set up a shop and some other artist spaces and kind of start my own little artist community or, you know, retreat. I think that would be a really fun and exciting thing to do. It's always been one of those like pie in the sky dreams for me, and the butler too, really. We want to kind of make an artist commune or whatever and have like invite artists or like, you know, 3D artists or, you know, painters, people who draw out to this like piece of property, and also have like sets for filmmakers and all kinds of stuff. It's always been like one of those pie in the sky, if we win the lottery dreams. Maybe one day we'll have enough money saved up to invest in that. You never know. Stuff happens. Maybe someday we'll get big enough that we can do that. Here, this is a typical thing to reuse abandoned industrial buildings. Yes. There are a lot of really great spaces that are repurposed for or abandoned buildings or like industrial spaces. A lot of them in the St. Louis area, though, have become apartment buildings. So they'll like divide up the floors of like warehouses and stuff and put in apartments. Or sometimes they'll tear them down and build like actual apartment complexes that are like purpose built. But I mean, occasionally you'll find like some really cool spaces that way. You know, the maker space as well as the glass blowing space in St. Louis were old abandoned warehouses. Like they were kind of smaller warehouses, not anything like really big or tall, but that's kind of like the type of space that you're looking at. We are very fortunate to have a glass blowing facility in St. Louis. So, you know, I could go and do some glass blowing in, you know, an hour and a half drive if I needed to. And yeah, that space is called Third Degree. I think it would be cool to take you guys sometime. But the most interesting time to take you guys would actually be on the third Friday, which on the third Friday of every month at like 6 or 7 p.m. they do open like artist drop-in glass blowing, and they kind of make a gallery type show out of it. So they have like, you know, wine and charcuterie boards and all kinds of nice stuff. And then there are artists that will just, you know, blow glass right in front of you. It's really, really cool. It's a great networking opportunity. So I don't know. Maybe I'll, you know, figure out a way to go and share that with you guys. But it's always cool to like go and visit other spaces and other artists and talk to people, you know? And while glass blowing itself is not blacksmithing, I think it's somewhat related. A lot of the same tools are involved. Like, you know, you've got your open forges. They call them glory holes. Hey, Jack. Welcome, welcome. All right. Let's see about blocking in our next side of the tongs. Whoops, I did that wrong. How about we do that instead? That way you guys can actually see what's going on a little better. Are we good on that? We might need to pull that back a little bit further, so maybe we'll go here instead. That's a lot better. That's a lot closer. Okay, back in the fire. So I'm really hoping that I can get these tongs really nice and put together so that they really function by the end of the stream. I mean, that's not an unrealistic goal. But I would love to use these guys tomorrow and Sunday when I am making the my bells, because I don't really have a good set of tongs that work well for sheet. And I think these guys should work relatively well. They won't be like perfect, but I think they'll be better than some of the other sets of tongs that I have. So I'm super excited about that. So I think what I want to do is as we continue working, I want to put like a V bit in there a little bit. So we'll kind of fold that bit around so it will hold both square bar, but it will also kind of have like those two ends that will hold onto sheet as well. So that is the plan for the moment. I am pretty excited that since I made this like that little bump out section, since I lengthened it and thinned it out, they're a little bit more reasonable lengthwise for a set of tongs. I should be able to like go really far and deep into the forge and pick things out. And that's always an issue when I'm like heating up really small things. They have a tendency to like roll into the back of the forge, and then I have a hell of a time pulling those out. So I'm super glad. Push my microphone down a little bit. I keep feeling it. On my neck. Apologies if that was a little poppy. All right. But yeah, super excited to be here today. And it is getting a little bit warmer. I mean, it's not super, super cold and it's not like super warm or anything, but I think I'm pretty comfortable now. I think moving around is really helping me out a lot. I don't know. I think the tong blank that I have right now, like just the single tong, I think it looks pretty decent. It's one of the better sets that I have made, which is, that's impressive for me. Have you ever heard of Ray Ripple? I don't think so. Can you give me some context? Congrats. Yeah, can you give me some context on Ray Ripple? Or is it a joke? I just assume that all women named Ray know each other. Oh, okay. I do have a couple people that I do know. Oh, she's a metal worker or welder. Okay. I do know another Ray, but she's a realtor, not a metal worker. So she's one of my dad's friends. My dad and his friend Ray did not know each other when I was named, though. Semi-famous through a TV show called Metal Shop Masters. Interesting. I kind of feel like when Discovery went through its whole, let's do a whole bunch of shows about metalworking and fabrication, blacksmithing, and even their cars. I didn't really have cable at the time, so I streamed some stuff. I watched DVDs, but I didn't get a lot of like actual TV time. So yeah, because back in the early aughts, we didn't have the money to pay for cable. It was just me and the butler. The classic, have you ever been to China? No, why? Oh, then you must know my neighbor because he also was never to China. Yes. Yeah. I mean, there are billions of people who have never been to China. I'm sure of it. But that's all right. That's all right. But see, the other thing is this person, Ray Ripple, is her name actually Ray, or is it like Rachel or Raven or something like that, a lot of people have Ray as their nickname. Far fewer people is Ray their actual birth given name. See, that's why I'm unique, I was named Ray. Like, it's on my birth certificate that way. I do have a middle name, and if you crush my middle name with my real name, or, with Ray, it makes a longer name, but my actual given birth name is just Ray. Nope, it's Ray. I think. I don't know. We're not friends. Flat jaw things can not really hold on, can they? So I didn't really want to say that they were anything but flat jaw, because I mean, I'm not entirely sure exactly what the bit are going to, or what they're going to look like. So they're going to be flat first, and then I will modify them into whatever type of tongs I want. So that's the plan anyway. Real array, not that other array stuff. Flat for a given value of a flat jaw. Yes. Exactly. So they won't end completely flat, but they are going to start flat at least. Flat jaw tongs hold flat stock well. They do. They really do. But these are going to probably end up being V-bit, just because I really need another good set of V-bits. So I don't know. We'll see. The most truth. Is that like we call the earth flat? So we have an ad that's going to be starting any moment now. So once that ad is done, I'll do my next heat over on the tongs. What we're going to do is continue flattening them out a little bit, probably turn them 90 degrees to start on the boss. And of course, 15 seconds, of being cut off by the ad. But yes, flat is the most accurate descriptor at the moment. Mostly because, like I said, I don't know what kind of tongs are going to end up in the end. Like, I wanted to make a set of wolf jaw, but these aren't going to end up being wolf jaw. They're just not quite that same shape. So I didn't want to specify that they were wolf jaw. They're just regular tongs, I think. I'm in that state where I'm comfortable in everywhere except for my armpits. Like, you know, I'm warm, I'm comfortable, but my armpits are really warm, really warm. I love those Patagonia jackets that have the zippers for the armpits. Those are great. I think more jackets should have armpit zippers. Regular thongs, like I'm wearing right now. Welcome in, Bluesy. Oh, they are fantastic. Yes, the jackets that have armpit zippers. They're fantastic. They're the best. I wish I had them. The endless puns with this name. Always something can be rearranged. Yes, it can. It can always be rearranged. I used to tell people that my favorite, like, word of elation, you know, excitement was hooray, because, you know, hooray, I-ray, you know, yeah. It was a really corny joke, but it got us laughing during like the really busy shifts in retail. So, you know, it can be annoying to have a name that rhymes with just about anything, but it can also be really fun. So I try to have fun and make fun so that, you know, the time flies by at least a little. Okay, let's do another heat, but first I'm going to change the camera view. The camera view. Probably. I wonder if this, I won't be able to read the stuff if I do this angle, but it might be an interesting angle to see. Let's try this one. Now let's see if I can't. All right, let's do that. I think you guys can't see that. Okay, cool. It's not in the shot, but it's gonna make a nice shot. Let's see, we'll put that there, and then we will put that down there, I think. Okay, I am back, and I need to not grab this one as though it's the tongs that I'm gonna be working with, because they're not. They're just gonna burn me. Okay, so now I want to turn this direction. So now if we look at them together, I think we're pretty accurate. Oh, you know what? I grabbed that, and you know what? It's not that hot, so I'm glad I didn't burn myself. Okay, we're good. So I'm going to put this back in the forge. We've got a good roughen, and we're going to clean that up. All right. Just got a Spanish ad with Spanish subtitles. What? Just in time for some metal to be smacked. Exactly. Smacking metal. That's what I do here at Ray Smithy. What do you guys think about that that view? Is that an acceptable view? It's kind of in, like, right directly in the front. I don't normally do that angle. Is that an okay angle? You would think you would know everything in that shop will burn you, right? I know, right? It's not too bad anymore. Like, I can pick it up now. It's not even like, it's a little bit warm. Like, you know, when you first turn on the hot water and, you know, it starts to heat up a little bit. That's kind of the temperature that it is right now. So it's not too bad. I don't think I'd want to choke up at all because we were just working with that. So I think that would be hot enough to burn me. But here on the end, it's not too bad. It's like, you know, in your head too, that black metal is like the most dangerous thing in the shop, right? Because you never know if it's hot or cold. But it's like that automatic, you just grab for something thing, you know? So that's where most of my burns happen, you know? I absent-mindedly grab something. Of course you can pick it up. You've burned away the heat sensitivity in your hands like all blacksmiths. That's probably true. At least to an extent, that's probably true. You know, I don't actually mind this camera view. Myself anyway, because it blocks the number, so I can't see how many people are viewing me this time because the camera's in the way. And if I'm looking at what the cameras are seeing, I can just look at my second monitor. So that, you know, it's probably not a bad angle for me. It's probably not a bad angle for YouTube. I just don't know if it's a bad angle for you guys. I try to make the angles really nice for you guys. Sometimes primate brain does win out and we do things that we later think, why? About 5,000 viewers. Hey, Jet Pinky. I mean, that would be a Christmas miracle if I had 5,000 viewers, guys. Man, it's one of those things where, you know, we've been getting some steady growth, and it's slow growth, but it's steady. And, you know, it gives me hope that eventually we're going to get to a point where, you know, we can actually sustain the channel on its own without having to pump as much money as we do in it. And then there's always that, like, that spark that maybe something will go viral at one, or, you know, sometime for no reason, you know. I'm not expecting it, but if it happens, like I win the lottery or something, you know, as far as virality goes, I would not, you know, I would not be opposed to that. But yeah, I can't see how many people are watching, but I can see chat. I think that's a decent trade-off. All right, let's do a little bit of cleanup on our jaws. Didn't notice the raid with 600 people? No, I did not. There we go. Ah. That's all right. Put that on the end. All right, so that guy's pretty cleaned up. I'm pretty happy with that. Now let's go back to our boss. Gotta keep our boss happy, right? Okay, let's check these. Okay, that can be a little bit more thinned out, but we've got two really nice, like, jaws that are really nice. Okay, so we clean up the boss a little bit, thin out this section, so like this area, and we're getting there. We are getting there. I will end up changing that angle after a couple of heats just to keep up with the variety a little bit. See, the best part about making things in twos is that I can use camera angles from both sides of these tongs, right? So if I like one heat of this side of the tongs better, and then the next heat I like the that side better, then I get to combine them, because I at the end, when I've got one full one done, I can be like, oh, and just double that. What's the last line on the whiteboard? It says today's project, Tongs. And then it says this week's propane sponsor, and it's left blank. We do not have a propane sponsor this week, mostly because I've been using the last of like 2 different propane tanks. So I haven't opened the brand new one yet. And then the brand new one is actually, sponsored by the Butler this week. So, I didn't put today's propane or this week's propane sponsor because they're, it's the Butler. It's the Butler. But if any of you guys on YouTube or TikTok or Twitch would like to sponsor a propane tank, you can donate $25 at my KoFi, which is linked on or in the description on the on the channel page, or on TikTok. It's at the end of each video. So, not that I'm begging, just I've had a couple people recently ask me where they can donate. So that's where you donate. Hey, Mahalo, welcome to the stream. Actually, I had someone email me yesterday overnight, I think. Not like last night overnight, but the night before. And so in the morning, I looked up and I was checking my email because, that's what you do, right? And I got this email from this person, and they asked me if I wanted to chit chat with them. And then it went on a little bit. And I wasn't exactly sure their motivations. So, yeah, I'm just going to leave it at that. But yeah, I am. For those of you who haven't figured it out yet, the Butler and I are in a very stable relationship, so. The internet, right? All right, let's do another heat. We'll do one more heat with this angle, and then I will change the angle again. Okay, so now I need to turn this another 90 degrees. And I want them to be somewhat similar, so there is a good spot. Hang that there. We are good to go. Those are the exact same size. I hope you guys can see that. I think you can. Okay, so we've got 2 very similar sides of these tongs. So when they go together, they will end up going like so. So they should close pretty well. Not bad. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is clean up this boss a little bit and thin this out. We've got the nice thickness there. I want to thin that out a bit. Dang it, I have no chance. Maybe, I mean, I'm not saying that, like, nothing could ever happen, but, for now, for as long as I can see, you know, I'm in a stable relationship. Okay, out of bed, coffee in hand. Awesome. That's when you know that you're starting to wake up. You know, you got to make sure that you got your first coffee in your hand, or your first soda or energy drink or whatever it is that wakes you up in the morning. I am nearly twice your age, kid. Well, you know, if something happens to the butler, I might be looking for, you know, a sugar parent, right? Yeah, I mean, I don't know that that's actually, you know, because that just sounds ridiculous. Yeah. Yes, a sugar mama. But yeah, so it's just weird, you know. I thought I was too old to get those sorts of like messages from people. You know, I'm almost 40 years old. I mean, I expect to get hit on putting my face all over the internet if I'm in my 20s, but you know, I'm almost 40. Insert butler emote here. Exactly. So you're saying there is a chance. Like I said, you know, I can't predict the future. But, you know, sometime in the distant future, if something happens and like I outlive the butler or something, you never know. What kind of stream is this anyhow? Goodness gracious. Yes, it's a blacksmithing stream, guys. This is not a dating app. Hey, are you still quite young, Dr. Optimal? There's always a chance. But oh goodness. Goodness gracious. That's not why I put my face on the internet. It's to teach you guys about blacksmithing. Hey, blacksmiths hit on things. They do. With hammers. Ray Smithy After Dark. Exactly. That's how it feels. It's very awkward, okay? All right, let's do another heat. Oh, wait. No, I promised you guys I'd change the angle. I'm sure you guys have seen me that red before, but I'm starting to get a little blushy. So maybe I need to change the topic before I turn super red, like the metal. Okay. We're not that different of an angle, but it's different-y enough that like I can zoom in and get a good view. And maybe actually, you know what? I'll go higher. That way it will be even more different-y. Okay. Ray's blushing so much. See, that's what I said. I'm getting too red. I got to change the topic. I know you have to understand that I like to see color changes in metal as well as in Ray's face. Yes. Today's challenge, what gets redder, Ray's face or the steel? Something like that. Something like that. All right. That was a really awkward blow. All right, I need to move this guy before it falls. Okay, more heat. I do know it's just a tease. If it wasn't just a tease, I would have shut that down immediately. Welcome to today's stream on Only Plans. Today's topic, we are planning on making tongs, but dinos take priority? Oh, donos. Yes, donos take priority. Yeah, something like that, except not. I have had some interesting asks, but yeah, donations always go to propane. You know, I don't do requests. So yeah. I just brushed this off. I don't know why I grabbed that. It's because I'm thinking over about this stupid email. Her emails. I don't know. So, yeah, I showed the butler that email. And the butler goes, "Don't leave me for random internet man." I was like, I don't think that you have to. Yes, I'm flustered a little bit. And I was like, I don't think you really need to worry about that. You know, Ray is a propane addict. All her cash goes to that. Yes. All my cash does go to propane. I am an addict, you know. Will forge for propane. That's about it, though. I'll forge for propane, with propane, or with coal, I'm not going to discriminate. Why propane, not butane? It's harder to get a hold of butane here in the United States in large quantities. Like, I can buy propane, I can buy acetylene, but I can't really buy butane in large quantities. Can stuff get too hot in the forge? Yes, and when it does, the carbon starts burning out of it. This forge, less so than the coal forge, but it can still get too hot, and they call it decarburization. With the occasional coal as a substitute drug, yes. What if it was a prince with a large dowry, but he only needs help transferring funds? If that's the case, then I got a bridge in Brooklyn to sell him, right? Not so easy in that bread box, yes. Propane has almost twice the BTUs of butane. And it also, like, butane has a tendency to evaporate, Like, I have some butane lighters, like some Zippos that I fill with butane, and I fill them, and like in a week, all of the butane is gone and it's empty again. You can really only find butane for lighters in the States. Yes, that is the case. Butane seems to be for cigarette lighters and mini torches. But yeah, I try to be as efficient as possible within my own limitations. Like, if I were trying to be as efficient as possible, I would probably have the big tall propane containers, but it's easier for me to get them in and out of my truck and replaced with the barbecue ones than the big ones, because the butler isn't always there to help me exchange and, fill my stuff. Zippos, you need to fill them with gasoline. Induction forge, yes. Electricity and an induction forge. I have not been able to try that. I really want to. And like Coal Iron Forge has a brand new induction forge that I guess it's not really brand new. They've had it for, I think, a couple years. And I would love to test it out and to try it out, but I just have not had the opportunity to try out an induction forge. But if I had one, I would use it. Or at least I'd try to use it until I'm always afraid that an induction forge, because there's current being carried in the coils, what happens if you touch the coil with your steel? No one's ever answered that for me. If you guys know the answer, what would happen if I accidentally touched the coil on an induction forge? What would happen? Would I electrocute myself? Or, what would happen? For a thing like tongs, a small induction coil would be slick, yes. It's not like operation. Is it? Like I said, I don't know. I've never used one before. I was just like, well, if it's the current and it's being carried through the coils, what if I touch it? Would the current shock me? We did a whole show on forge fuels, comparing the BTUs of all the popular forge fuels and weird ones like corn. Yeah, I've seen people using weird things like corn and, like grasses and fertilizers. The more likely to weld the metal to the coil than electrocute. See, that was my other thought. Or if it didn't electrocute me, would it affix the piece of stock to the coil? I have an induction coil heater for bolts. It's not much of a problem. That's good. I've always been concerned because I have really shaky hands at times. And so when you're holding something out really far away and you got shaky hands, it's like flopping all over the place. I did not think there was much voltage on an induction coil to shock you, but it's more about frequency and current. Okay. That could make some sense. Oh, I've talked way too long, and now we're at another ad break. So once this ad break is done, I will do another heat. So yeah, I've been yammering way too much today. Apologies. I need to get, I gotta put my nose to the grindstone and finish these tongs. I've seen people touch the coil. Nothing happens. It's just most efficient in the center of the coil. Okay. See, that makes me feel a lot better about, acquiring a induction forge, We've hijacked and derailed, right? Yes, like I said, I got to put my nose to the grindstone. And we got to finish these tongs before the end of the stream. I get derailed really easily. Very distractible. It's always been my issue, in school, here in art class, I'm very distractible. Just grab an old microwave and build one. I think I'd rather have one professionally done. I do a little bit of electrical, but I'm not amazingly good at it. Yeah, I would not do it myself. You don't get to shut down until you have a complete pair of tongs, young lady. I mean, it might be that way. I don't know. But I mean, I don't want to end stream, or I don't want to draw out stream too long so that you guys miss the beginning of Roy's stream. So we're going to try and give you guys a half an hour of buffer between the end of mine and the beginning of Roy's. Magnetrons are really sketchy. You should go to the just chatting category and put on your title, trying to make a tong, but I know myself and I will talk the propane away, right? Because they produce microwaves. All right, once this is done, once this ad break is done, I should be able to finish out lengthening this area. And then from there, we'll be able to put them together a little bit. I'm pretty confident in myself that we'll be able to finish this. If I don't get distracted again. Yes, the rain. Goodness. Something like that. Yeah. I think the major distraction happened when I started talking about the email guy. And I'm not trying to be mean to the email guy if they're watching over on the Twitch or on the YouTube. I'm not trying to be mean. It's just, kind of outrageous a little bit for me. What did Santa say to Mrs. Claus when he saw the storm coming? It looks like reindeer. I mean, see, here, with Dr. Optimal's Here Comes the Rain Again, I was like, well, here comes the Ray again. All hail Ray, reigning blacksmith queen. I don't know about that. There's plenty of female blacksmiths around that, are probably better than me. We're trying to clean this up just a little bit. All right, let's check these guys out. Are they equal? They are. For the most part, at least. I think they look similarly enough. Okay. So, they're going to go like so. And all right, I think what I need to do next is kind of clean up the boss area. They are going to end up sticking when I try to close them. So we're going to clean up this area right in here on both of them. See if I can't fit them both in the forge. I don't know. Maybe? I don't think I can. It's an itty guy. It's a itty guy. But yeah, no, we're just going to clean up the boss area. Make sure that the tongs will kind of fit together and they'll close and open smoothly. Should I say the reigning blacksmith queen? Yes, that's better. That's better. Oh, goodness. I'm starting to run through my water, which, it's not terribly surprising because it usually takes me about an hour to drink through my water. And we are just over an hour at this point. I love the mailbox. It is a great little forge. It's so efficient for like the small things, like if you're going for nails or, leaves, tongs, all kinds of stuff. This thing is so efficient. I mean, we're using up the last, dregs of a propane tank and it's not even frosty. So I love that thing. It is the best. Get one of those backpacks with 2 gallons of water and a straw, right? I feel like I need that in the summer. I've been using the jerry can in the summer when it gets really hot, and it's worked out beautifully. But, you know, if I had a backpack, then I could just, you know, have the little straw and just like sort of drink through it, and I would never have to be off screen grabbing more water. Maybe that's what I should do with my Christmas money, you know? I don't get a lot of Christmas money because most of my family have started making presents for each other. But, you know, it would still be something to think about. We have not reached the Gatorade or other energy drinks exist portion of the stream yet. Or the beer hat with 2 Gatorade bottles and a straw, right? You know? I don't think that the beer hat would fit with my headphones, though. You know, it would have to be specially designed to fit my Leia buns. I gotta have them. All right, let's put this over here for the moment, and we will take another attempt. So with these flat jaw tongs, what kind of stock or work paces are most suited for them? The goal is to have them be kind of a universal set. So I would like to be able to hit or to use them for sheet metal. I would also like to be able to use them for square stock and round stock. But we'll see how or what we can get when we get to that point. Okay. Okay, so I think that's pretty good, pretty clean. All right. Is that better? That is a lot better, actually. Most definitely a lot better. All right, let's clean up this side next. So we'll leave that on that side and we'll put this in there. Would also serve as an emergency fire suppression system if you had the backpack, right? I think it'd be pretty neat. All right. So I have a drill bit here. And I don't know how sharp this one is. I kind of found it on the floor over there. And I don't normally use a bit that this big or that is this big. So hopefully it's big enough, or I guess small or sharp enough. That's what I'm trying to say. I hope it's sharp enough. So I believe it's small enough that it should go in there pretty nicely. Yeah. Not too bad. Not too bad. You can kind of see it a little bit better on the side. But yeah. So I have a drill press that I bought. And you guys have seen it a couple times, but it's over there. Do you have a death wheel? You can sharpen your bit. I do have a death wheel. And I probably could sharpen it. I just would be a little bit afraid to. I normally just buy the cheapo ones, and then I just buy a new set or a new bit every time they get dull, because I am a horrible consumerist. But, you know. And then I have this guy here for our rivet. So I'm going to kind of take a look at this guy and make sure that it is long enough to create a decent sized head on this guy. We gotta heat it up. Dull bits become forge stock. It depends. At least you know what you are. Yes, yes, I know that I am a dirty, rotten capitalist. Yeah, I'm very consumerist in my, you know, if it's broken, I'm just gonna buy a new one. I'm not, or like some things I do fix. Like there are a lot of things that I will fix. Like I'll rehandle a good hammer. I've fixed the press several times, you know, but if it's like a cheapo thing that it would just be easier to buy a new one, I will. I always do. As a farmer, you fix things. I mean, I know. And these days, it's getting really expensive to replace things that break, so I will probably start fixing a lot more things, you know? You could always make a canister Damascus billet from drill bits and steel powder. See, it depends, right? So I think most of my drill bits are high carbon steel, but there are also a couple of bits that I have laying around that are like cobalt, and you can't really forge cobalt very well. So, you know, I gotta sort which ones I can use for canister Damascus and which ones that I just need to throw away or, you know, sharpen. Keep the bit cool. Eventually you will get a hole through it, right? That's the plan anyway. High-speed steel. Yes, they are high-speed steel bits. And they are like rated for steel or like for drilling through steel, but they're always so bad about it. Like, you know, I get a couple holes in and they're dull as anything. And it's not even that I am not lubricating my bits. You know, I do lubricate my bits. It's just, I don't know. They always end up dulling out on me. Okay, we're gonna do our next heat. This heat is supposed to be me cleaning up the boss. Is it not? Isn't that what I told you guys? You gotta remind me. I've been distracted today, guys. I've been distracted. It's my own damn fault, too. Man. Shush. I need to stop. I'm trying to keep things like, you know, friendly for children, and I'm not being children friendly today. Apologies. Okay. We'll put that there, I hope. And then we're going to pick this up, and because they're still both hot. And we're going to put that over there. And I think they should close relatively well. All right, next. Next job is to make sure that the rivet will go through. Yes, it definitely will. Awesome. Okie doke. Oopsie, I dropped it on the floor. All right, so for the next thing that we're going to do is probably actually, do I want to blurg? I'm going to drop things. That's what we're going to do next. Okay, so what I'm actually going to do. Do you have a drill bit sharpener? I don't. I'd actually have to, you know, use either my bench grinder or an angle grinder, or I'd have to use a file. I'm going to temporarily turn off the forge because it doesn't take long to heat it up. Okay, get yourself carbide drill bits. Yeah. Iron Man brand. Something like that. Okay. There it is. I was going to say, I have a center punch here somewhere. Where is it? Which one is cool? They're both hot. All right. I'm going to put this one over here temporarily so that I can actually drop the piece again. So I can stick this on the anvil. And I'll put that there for half a second. I want a center punch right in the center of this guy. I need a belt grinder. A file, ain't nobody got time for that. I don't have time for that. I do have a belt grinder that I do use. It is a tool that is like, it's like an adapter for my bench grinder. Okay, we have a lovely center punch marked on there, so we can use the drill bit right like so, and I'm pretty happy with that. Cool. Okay. Do. Oh. Alrighty. Can you guys see this? I don't know if you can or not. I think you guys can see it. Alrighty. Time to enter the secret room, yes. Ever try a step drill for rivet holes? I have not. I'm sure I could. It's not like I'm, incapable, and I have used step drills before. I just don't have any myself. Like, I don't own any. Whoops, wrong direction. So for those of you who do not know, this is actually a Harbor Freight 8-inch drill press. This thing is actually really good. It has variable speeds, which is really, really nice. I don't know what I'm doing. And it has a belt motor system, so I'm not going to burn out my motor. Because like I said, it has belts inside of this little like thingy guy. It's so cool. And I'm sitting here talking about this drill press like you guys can see it, and I don't even know if you can. I hope you can. Fingers crossed you can. But I don't know that for sure, It helps when you turn the power on to your drill press. Okay. Guys, don't let me forget or lose my key. Not sponsored by Harbor Freight, but could be, yes. I guess thingy guy is a technical term in metalworking, something like that. Need an extremely close-up option. Every drill press has belts to adjust the speed, does it not? It did, like the one that I had at school didn't. Okay, I'll put that there. And then next thing is I need to figure out what I did with my clamps. They're behind the camera. Give me half a second. I apologize. I should have been a little bit more aware of what I was going to be doing today, but I didn't because I'm, not organized. But I sure as Surely, I know that I definitely do not want to get this guy flicked at me if the drill bit is too dull and it gets caught in there. Ugh. Especially because it's warm still. I hate that the plug for that cable is like on that other side there. It sucks. Okay. If I put it there, then I can take this like so, and stick it there for the most part. Okay, is that catching? Yes, we are. We're catching. Okay. Okay. What'd I do with that? It's right there. I am the worst. I always end up using a other drill bit to put oil on the things that I'm drilling. All right, let's do this. You know, it really does not help that this piece of steel is warm. It's kind of smoking a little bit. So the oil is making less of a difference, keeping this bit cool, I think. All right, well, let's put more oil on it then, since the oil burned away. So we've got to do the other side too. If this is too long or whatever, what I will do, you know, if you guys can't see well enough, I'll move the other camera inside here so you guys can kind of see what's going on. I probably should have done that. All right, are you actually working? Are you going any lower? No. I don't know. I think I'm going to move the camera, which means I'm going to unplug this so that I can move the camera in here. I went inside to make another cuppa. Did we already drill pilot holes? I wish. Glad this part of the shop gets some love, right? Okay. Wait, I can't move the camera in there because the cable won't reach, guys. The cable won't reach. I'm sorry about that. Let's see. I don't really want to move the drill press either. Also, I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to do a pilot hole and then I'm going to drill the hole because it's slipping and I think a pilot hole will help. Apologies, guys. I'm taking too much time doing this. Maybe if I do this, will this help? Maybe it'll help. I mean, you won't be able to get to see a close-up of it, but you'll be able to see me a little better. All right. All right, let's start smaller. because it's taken forever to get through that. And I think doing a smaller hole first is going to be better. And we can't even reach, so up we go. Okay, are we good? Okay, we should be good. Now let's plug us back in and try it. Or we could realize that our drill bit is like not even remotely straight. I hate when that happens. Whoopsie. All right, guys. And I apologize because I can't see any of you guys' comments. Like, they're so small, I can't even read them. There we go. That's better. I think there is an ad coming up. I'm not going to break for that ad because I want to get this done. This is so much easier and so much better. All right, we are through. Now let's expand that hole with the bigger one. That was kind of dangerous. Picking up the bit by the tip. Not my thrillingest, smartest move I've ever done. Okay, let's do this. Goodness gracious. I don't know that oil's gonna stick in there this time. Much better. Oh, come on. I'm pressing down too hard. I'm sorry. I should be, doing things like I'm taught and not like I'm impatient. Because I'm totally impatient. I'm the worst at being patient. We are almost through on this one. Almost. Oh, come on, get through. I told you guys I didn't think this bit was sharp. It's definitely not. It is almost through. Fine, I give up with this bit. How big is this bit? Way too small. Ugh. I wonder if I turn it over. I wonder if that'd help. Can't really turn it over very well. Yeah, I can't really turn it over very well. So close. Having issues, guys. I apologize. Come on. That's not helping. Okay, I need to find another bit. I don't know why I put that back there. Jeez. This is what I get for not being, like, organized. This is what I get for not being organized. There are ways to straighten the drill bits. Now we're cooking with gas. Oh, did you not mount it correctly? Yeah, I just didn't mount it correctly. Now this one is, like, super duper dull, so I gotta find another drill bit. Apologies. Let's see. Is this the drill bit from this case? I have never used this bit. I think it'll be all right. It's a little bit smaller. And how small is it? This one is a half. That one is 7/16. Yeah, I should be able to put that in there and, like, fix it. It's close enough, I think. All right. Okay. I don't know what my problem is. Oh, come on. Go all the way through. This one is just as bad. Jeez Louise. All right, well. I don't think I have any other drill bits. New donation from Mahalo. Thank you so much. Thank you for your donation, Mahalo. I need one of those. I'm gonna, let's see. I apologize, guys. I am like really struggling here with this bit. So much so to the point where it's cold now. All right, I should just be able to punch through that one, but that does not help me on the other side. There's a pretty big hole for one pass of the drill of unknown origin. It is the second pass. You can see through it. I did 2 passes. I did, I promise. Okay, yeah, I think Lexi's right. Flip it and drill from the other side. I will probably try that. Or I tried that, yeah. I wanted to. I did, but my problem is that it's raised. I wonder if this is enough to kind of leave it there. Maybe. Might be able to raise it like so, but I'm also a little worried about that. I don't know. All right, I think I'm going to attempt to do the other side anyway. Where is the other side? Is it cool enough? It is. It's definitely cool enough. Alrighty. Whoops, that's the wrong thing. That's not my center punch. This is... Dropsy, dropsy. That's what I do, guys. That's what I do. Do. There's that. Now we're going to try the other side. Oops, it's a little bit too far in there. There it goes. All right. Now we're going to do a first pass on the other side, or like with the other bit, just because I want to make sure that, you know, we're, there it goes. Lower. And where's the other bit that I was using? Oh, I dropped it on the ground. That wasn't it. I swear it was a smaller bit than that. Ha! Here it is. Maybe? Pretty sure it was bigger than that, but I guess it'll work. And here I thought that drilling these would make it take less time, but we all know that that's not happening. Not even a little. Put a board under it and hold the rein instead of clamping it. Okay, I can try that. Can't you get the cable through the door and plug it in on this side of the wall where the Ray's Smithy sign is plugged in? I can, but I'm afraid that if I did, I would tip the base because it's really top heavy. Hey, wait, we get to see behind the magic door. Yes. Apologies. I'm trying. I'm doing a really bad job of it. I really am. Really bad job. Okay. So I almost tipped it on the way in to this part of the, or when I brought it in here, I almost tipped it. So that's why I didn't want to bring it out there. So this is almost too small. But it's a good pilot. You know what, guys? I left the stupid thingy on this side of the shop. Goodness gracious. Nah! You know, I thought this section would go a lot smoother. I'm sure you guys can probably tell. So, profuse apologies. I thought this was going to take like no time at all. It usually does. Is this that one? That one's definitely. Let me use the other bit. I know it's dull. What do I do with it? I don't even know. Goodness gracious. As I keep this not figuring out what I'm going to do. Good God. All right, well, I think that I probably am not going to get this done because we are starting to run late on the stream, later than I wanted. So we will probably get the drill, or like the hole drilled, but we might not get the rivet done today. Fingers crossed I can do it the first time. All right. Yeah, this bit is not happy. It is not going to happen. All right, well. What am I going to do? I don't know. It also did not go into the center of that area. That's obnoxious. I'm going to have to start from that side. All right, well. I have an idea, and it's going to take fucking forever. Oops, I'm sorry. I'm cursing again. Frustrations! All right. As Kiri says, we're not doing this because it's easy. We're doing this because we thought it would be easy. Yes, exactly. We'll find some raiders until it's done. Finally, real talk from Ray Smithy. I know, guys. I know. I try to be really, really, PG with all of my talking, and I'm not doing so hot today. So apologies to those of you who expect that from me. And this is the real Ray for those of you who did expect that from me. We're going to start with this one. So there's still oil on that guy that you're going to see burning. And I don't think it's that big of a thing. Sometimes a tool needs a strong talking to so they know who's boss. Boo PG. Yeah. Ain't that the truth? Plevix Extreme followed me 20 minutes ago, and I totally missed it because I was fighting that drill bit. I'm not fighting the press. The press is working beautifully, exactly how I expect it. It's just I don't have a good bit for it. PG equals political correctness, something like that. PG is the rating by the, what is it? Parental guidance? That's what it is. Parental guidance. All right, so once we get the that side of the tongs hot, we'll be able to drive this guy through and fix, or and get the hole big enough. Then we're probably going to use the center punch as a drift and open the other side. It's probably not going to be fun looking. One side's going to be fat and the other side is not going to be fat. But I don't know what else to do, guys. I don't know what else to do. Unless I can somehow manage to scrounge up another 1/2 inch bit. There's one other place that I should be able to look. Well, here's one. I don't know if this is 1/2 inch or not. What did I do with that bit? Oh, it's in the drill press. I'm an idiot. So like this tip is really sharp, but over here it's kind of rusty. So I don't know what size this bit is. I don't know what size it is. It should be all right. We should be able to straight up drill into that. I'd rather do it on this side. No, I wouldn't actually. I would rather do it on this side. Just drill through. There is a little bit of a... Yep. Alright. I might try this one last time with the drill press after we get that one all the way through. We'll see. We'll see. Everyone in the stream is older than Ray, but we still get treated with kid gloves. Seriously, though, I get it. Well, okay, so the goal is to make it so that someone like Noah Hicks could come and watch the stream or the YouTube. And, parents wouldn't be like, oh, there's too much swearing in that, If it fights back, or gets hot, how they say it can't resist its liquid. Yes. Yep. 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 Okay. I think it's hot enough now that we should be able to drive that through. So let's see if I still have a functional camera 2. Let me actually go back to camera 1 and I will make the angle a little bit better so you guys can actually see it. It's clearly not recording anyway. Okay. There's that. We've got the hole, the Pritchell hole, centered in the close-up camera, and then we're going to put the there. And this should work beautifully, right? Right, guys? Hey, hey. Blacksmithing to the rescue. It's totally a thing, right? We're blacksmiths. We can do things like this. All right. We got what we needed. It went all the way through. Is this where the plug of hot metal drops onto the shoe? Something like that. Compliance achieved, yes. So we have a hole all the way through. Yay! Now I gotta figure out what I did with that. Okay, can the rivet go all the way through? Yes, it can. Awesome. That's exactly what we wanted. Okay, now I'm gonna leave that on for a bit and I'm gonna attempt to use the other drill bit to get far enough through that we can do that again. What did I do with my... There it went. My key this time. I'm so bad about losing my key. I lose my key for my drill press all the time. There's a whole like little thing where it just sticks just like so, and I never use it because I'm a dummy. Guys, if your drill press comes with a key lock, use it. All right, there we go. Let's see how well this does. It's working a lot better. as I keep making it move along the thingy. All right. New issue. New issue. All right. I'm going to have to put something underneath of it. That's not helping us at all. Well, Lexi, it's working like you said it would. For the most part. Nope. It ain't gonna go. So we're gonna have to use this again. Roy Steerium says live in 85 minutes, so we got time still. Awesome. Awesome. Might have time to tune in. Yay. I'm going to snooze ads because we're almost at the end. Okay, cool. Yeah, you can go ahead and snooze ads. I think you've already done it, though. I missed some stuff. I'm trying really hard, guys. I'm trying really hard. Goodness. One of these days, you know? One of these days. All right, that should actually work out pretty well. It's a little bit wide, so I think it's gonna have to compress a little bit. But I've got a good header for it, so we should be fine. So we'll put that over there. I will be right back, guys, as I milk into things. It's Gatorade time, guys. It's Gatorade time. I'm getting thirsty again. How we doing? I think we're doing all right for the most part. That can go over there. All right. I'm going to move the camera so you guys can see what I'm doing. because I won't be at that hole just yet. There we go. And we'll go ahead and snooze that. We're going to put this over on this side, and we're going to use this like so. Or maybe we're going to drop it. That sounds good too, guys. That sounds good too. Maybe we will be using this side. No, we won't, but mostly because I'm going to have to use it this side if I'm going to do it this direction. Awesome. Not great. Not great. More heat. Once upon a time, I actually was successful in not dropping things every 4 seconds. You know what? Ugh, drop forge. It's too early to start drinking. It is too early to start drinking. Man, I gotta tell you guys, if I had just like drifted this hole, we would have been done by now. I thought that drilling this stuff would be so much easier. No, not even a little. Goodness gracious. I cannot believe this. I thought I was being all clever and shit. Yeah, you're going to start getting the I can't censor myself at this point. I'm so irritated. Oh God. It's Ray uncensored, guys. It's Ray uncensored. We can get close, but we can't get all the way through yet. We can, however, go this direction. Oh, I'm gonna get it heated up first. It's also Ray unamused, yes. To keep the balance in the universe, you have to drop it the same number of times on both sides of the anvil, right? Oh, one of these days. See, I think I am most irritated because, like, my last project, which is the reason that we're doing these tongs to begin with, the hammer, I completely cracked that. So now that this is not cooperating with me either. Cool, the handle so you can grab the rein instead of using the tongs. Yeah, that's probably what I should be doing, but you know, when you got a hot head, sometimes the things that you should be doing and that you know you should be doing don't get done right. You know? You know. And the other thing that I know is that I should have changed the angle on this camera so you guys could see a little bit better. but I didn't because I'm not even thinking about that right now. Whoops, I'm an idiot. There we go. There we go. Okay. They're looking quite good, are they? Aside from the fact that they're just not cooperating with me, I can't drill them open. I do think they do look good. You know, I got these ones. These ones are, you know, it's got a nice hole in it. I just wish that the drill press, or I mean the drill bits were sharp enough. If I had gotten sharp enough drills, that would have been great. All right, so there's an ad break starting in a minute 30. I think I'm gonna let that one, no, I'm not gonna let it play. I'm gonna snooze it one more time. Why do we still call it going postal? There hasn't been a post office in like 50 years. While that one is heating, clean up the punch. Clean up the punch. Oh, I'm an idiot. You're right, Lexi. You're right. Much cleaner. One Rain has concrete texture. Because it's weird to call it going scholastic. That might have been too dark, and I accept a timeout if it is my punishment. I mean, I think it's all right for in chat, but I did not read it out loud specifically because it was a little bit dark. But right now, I am not in a place where I am like really being super anal about stuff like that because I'm kind of being a little less than myself right now. I'm going to heat this up one more time. Ray is missing the above context. I probably am. Apologies if that's the case. I'm going to leave that up to you mods then. Because, yeah, I am kind of missing the above context. If there's more to that. Breathe. Because I'm going to end up 3 strikes and you're outing if I'm not careful, you know? It's all good. That weird qualifier was played. I said ironic that she's using the mailbox as she's going postal. Oh, okay. That makes some sense. Okay. Yeah, I need to, if I calm down a little bit, medieval times only, please. Nazculez, welcome to the stream. The punch drift looked like it must have gotten a little warm, so you could use a little grinder. Love to bring it back to true. Oh, okay. Lexi used 40 bits. Well, thank you for those 40 bits. I'm trying to be a good streamer, guys. I'm trying. I don't know why I'm still using my tongs, because I did cool the back end. All right. We are through. Look. All right. Wah. I don't know why I'm even doing that. That just seems a little, like, weird. All right, we're going to punch the rest of that out on our next heat, and then we are probably going to have to clean that up a little bit, drift it out a bit. But we are getting so close. So close to being able to heat up this rivet and rivet them together. All right. Ugh. My nose is running, guys. It is all content. It is all content. I do have an ad that's going to be starting in about 30 seconds, and I guess somewhere in the neighborhood of like 30 seconds to a minute. And I cannot actually snooze that one because I have reached the limit of snoozes. So unfortunately, I do have to let that one play. So I think I'm going to take that time to kind of calm down a bit and actually think about what I'm doing. Hey, Holy Zoinks, welcome to the stream. You just missed me getting incredibly frustrated and cursing. So, I mean, maybe that's something that you miss. No more snoozes, only loses, yes. This stream has several moments that could be archived for future use when you have a Patreon, right? Several moments of me being quite frustrated. But that's all right. It'll work. I might have to do a pair of tongs Sunday. It's been quite a few years since I made a pair. Yeah, I make a lot of tongs. And blushing. Yes, there was a lot of blushing today too. Yeah, I tend to make a decent amount of tongs. Like, I probably make at least a set every 6 months or so. So I still think that I am terrible at making them, but I try. I try. These are definitely going to need a little bit of cleanup once we get them, like, done. But I think we'll be all right. Or I guess once we get them riveted together. Goodness gracious. Yeah, I'm going to have to drift these open a little bit further because they're just a little bit too, the hole's just a little bit too small for the rivet that I have for this piece. And I definitely don't want to draw down the rivet any smaller because I have a really wide one side and a kind of a skinnier other side. So let me take a look at this real fast. I'm getting ready. Okay, so I need to go that far on both sides. Okay, cool. I can do that. I have brains. And 30 seconds. Butler might either come after us or join in the laughing if they watch the stream. I think that they'll probably join in the laughing. Now, I do feel a little bit bad because the person that sent me that email, if they're watching, I don't mean to be like, you know, making fun of them. It's just weird for me to hear that people actually think that about me. All right, let's do another thing. Let's actually change the camera because I'm sure you guys weren't seeing everything. Oh, I guess you were, but it was a bad angle. So we're going to center the Pritchell hole again. Because we're going to be drifting open this hole just a little bit. All right, cool. And we'll put that over there. Okay, that is the that was the plug. So that's exactly what we wanted to see. Now I need to clean up this side a little bit. Okay. We got that side open enough, maybe? Do we have that side open enough? Let me check the rivet. Okay, we got that side open enough. The rivet will go through. Now we got to come on this side and open up that side a little bit. Okay, we are almost done with the stream, guys. We are almost done. We're going to put the rivet in the forge to kind of heat that up. It can go all the way through without a problem on this side. We have a little bit of a hang up on the other side, and that is what we are dealing with right now. We have plenty of heat now. I'm going to put that right there like so. And then we're going to try this again. All right, we should be fine on that one. So the next thing that we need to do, toss this guy in there and clean up this guy because we bent him a little bit. Okay, we should be good to go. Ouch. You know you love it when your hammer drops on the opposite side of your steel toe where it actually hits your foot. Okay, we are good to go on that. The next thing I'm going to do is grab the swage block. And this time I'm not going to trip over it. I'm done tripping over the swage block. We're going to use this hole right here. to help us shape the head of this rivet. So I'm going to put that right there, like so. And then this one is going to go over that, over top. Or not. Let's try it this direction. Is this direction going to be better? Yep, that direction's definitely better. Just like so. I've got that nice and set up. Looks like Roy is on. Okay. Oh wait, that's just an ad. Okay. As long as I don't want to stream over top of Roy if I can manage it. Because I want Roy to get all of the, all of the views. I don't want you guys to have to pick. So I'm showing 60 minutes. Okay, cool. We're getting close to having the rivet hot enough. I have the rivet set up enough too that I should be able to rivet these together, open and close it. We will need a little bit of cleanup after the rivet is taken care of, but I think what we're gonna do is I'm gonna end the stream once I do this first attempt at this rivet. So yeah, I will save the finessing for later. All right, I'm actually pretty happy with these. Like, they don't look that bad. And I don't mean that they don't look that bad in that, I thought they were going to, but they don't, I don't know. They look better than most of my tongs end up. Nope, gotta have a complete pair of working tongs. I know, right? Yeah, I just don't want to, I want to give you guys enough time to get over to Roy's stream. Even if Roy starts a little bit early. All right, how's our rivet doing? I think it's good enough. All right, let's attempt this. This is going to be our first attempt. Sometimes these take me a couple tries. I'm really bad at riveting. Can you guys see that? Yes, you can. Yeah, I'm like super bad at riveting. See, I'm super bad at riveting. I like drop this dang thing. Where is my other tongs that I can grab these with? Okay. I guess we're gonna be doing these a little bit oddly. Always the best when you bend the rivet. All right, I'm gonna heat these up again, and we're gonna see if we can't get it in there. That's just a 5-second flip to a different app. It is. It is. All right. I'm a little bit worried that the other side, like that second side that we did, is a little bit too wide. I don't know that I have enough material to kind of finish the rivet on that side. So I don't know. We shall see what happens. I really, really wish that I had a oxyacetylene torch that functioned right. Because it's going to take us a lot, or I don't know that it's going to, yeah, we're only really getting the tippy top of this. We're not getting a good... Well, that's pretty. The head on this got really pretty, except for that now they don't want to, like, you know. All right. I think the rest of this we'll be able to do on the anvil, I think. Yeah, I'm an idiot, but that's all right. You know, you don't gotta be the smartest person to be a blacksmith, but you know. Okay. Well, they open and close pretty well. They're not terrible. They do wobble a bit. That's why my main issue right now is that they are wobbling. I'm also having a little bit of an issue where they won't close all the way because they're getting caught. All right. They are a little wobbly. We can fix that. It's not the end of the world. They're not terrible, but we are getting a little bit of a wiggle. Okay, so these are the tongs. We're going to have to finesse them a little bit. They are together, you know. They will go together. They're, you know, nice and... But yeah, we will have to finesse these guys. You do not need to be... Yeah. But as Ray shows us, it helps. Yes, exactly. Oxyacetylene rules, or as we call it, the gas axe. Okay. So yeah, what I think we're going to end up doing is a little bit of finesse work. I need the big forge to finish this off, and I don't really want to turn on the big forge. So, but yeah, they're pretty done. I also need to do a little bit of grinding on the knuckle right there. It is catching. That's why they're not closing all the way. So, yeah. They should work beautifully, though, when I get them done. So I think what we're going to do now is probably end the stream. I will probably finish finessing these on stream on Monday, and then we will start working on production for the Jingle Bells. So yeah. Thank you and have a nice day. Thank you guys. You guys are amazing. Thank you for being patient with me while I fight non-functioning tools and various other problems. Let me see if I can drop the Roy link. Yes, please do. Thanks for the stream, Ray. Nice job fighting through the hiccups. Yeah, I try. All right. So hope you have a great weekend, and today was a great stream. Well, I'm glad you guys had fun. I had a lot of fun too, even though, you know, it wasn't the most, you know, whatever. But yeah, Roy's stream is linked. Lexi's got that link for you guys. Check out Roy. He is a great blacksmith. Yeah. So thank you guys all for watching. And I don't think that I'm going to raid off. Just so that I encourage you guys to go over to YouTube. Winter Solstice Sunday. Have a fun weekend. Yes, you guys, thank you so much. Have a wonderful weekend and a great holiday if I miss you on Monday. So thank you guys so much. Thank you so much. I think I'm gonna let my like thingy thing go all the way through to the, you know, end. And then I'll probably just end the stream. Thank you guys so much. Bye.